loves, my name is Tanisha. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. What I do here is help women become more feminine, virtuous, and traditional, and I do it using the Word of God. If at the end of this video you liked it and it helped you, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can continue to see more videos like this one. In this video, I'll be giving you 5 reasons why you shouldn't be dating and you should be courting instead. So let's jump into the first reason why you should not be dating. There's no accountability. When you are in a courtship process and you're in that discovery phase, having someone to hold you accountable is extremely important. Whether that's your pastor or any church members, leaders in your cell group, or any women in your ministry that can hold you accountable is key. I know there may be circumstances where you don't have a pastor or someone in the ministry that can help you. Having a friend or a close family member that can hold you accountable is key. When my husband and I were going through the courtship process, there was a 1-year discovery phase that we went through with our pastor. It was really interesting because he did ask questions of us that we weren't thinking of asking. So if you and your fiance are having trouble or difficulties really getting to know each other, it might help to get someone else's opinion on the questions you can ask to get to know each other better. So I think a 1-year process is adequate, just depending on how fast you want to get married. I'll be reading my first verse out of Mark 10:9, and it's the King James Version. And it says, "What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder." And asunder means to apart or divide. So when you bring God into it and you court instead of date, it makes it harder for your relationship to fall. Which brings me to the second reason why you should be courting and not dating is because dating creates a weaker foundation. When you're courting, it creates a more solid defense against affairs. It brings you closer to each other, so you're able to talk about issues that you may not necessarily have talked about when you're dating. Usually when you're dating, you're on your best behavior, and when you're courting, those issues come out right away because the intent is always marriage. Of course, that doesn't mean that there will never be affairs and it's 100% foolproof. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean is that it will help increase your chances of having an affair-proof marriage. With a stronger foundation, your communication will just be better. It'll be more enhanced. So you'll go to each other to deal with issues and not the opposite sex. And that brings me to my second verse, and I'll be reading out of the King James Version again, and that's Matthew 7:24. And what it says is, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock." So if we read that again, we say, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his marriage upon the word." And that's exactly what it is. So when we're courting, you're literally building your marriage on the foundation of the word. And that brings me to the third reason why you should be courting and not dating is because courting will lessen your temptations. When you're dating, you tend to test the waters, right? So I think that's a common thing amongst a lot of people that are dating right now. They want to see how their partner is in bed. But if we are courting and we're being women of God and we're trusting Him to bring us the right partner, we won't have any issues with that partner fulfilling us sexually. Sex was created by God. It was meant to be enjoyed by married couples. So He will bless your sexual life if that's what you desire. Some men that are in the dating process, even in the courting process, tend to have issues with pornography. Some women might have issues with pornography and masturbation. And when we are dating, we leave ourselves open to be tempted to those things. When we're courting, we have the intent of marriage and we know that thing is to come. We are being held accountable and we're continuing to be ministered to by our pastors and people that are in our church ministry. So there's a less chance, not that it can't happen, but it does lessen our chances of being tempted sexually if we are courting and not dating. The fourth reason why you should be courting and not dating is because it can create resentment. So if you've been with your boyfriend for 4 or 5 years and he still hasn't asked you to marry him, that can create resentment. There could be issues with the church that you'll attend as a family, where you'll live as a family, all of these different factors that could create levels of resentment when you're dating, and no one really wants that. That's an extremely uncomfortable situation when you're just not sure like if he's going to propose to you, and even if he wants to be with you, you're not really sure. And that leads me to the fifth and final reason of why you should be courting and not dating, is because it creates doubt and uncertainty. You start asking yourself questions of, will he ever ask me to marry him? Does he even want to be married? Does he want kids? Then you start compromising. You start creating ultimatums for him and say, you know, I'm going to leave you in 6 months if you don't marry me. Or you may even buckle down and ask that man to marry you yourself. That definitely isn't any position that we want to be in as women of God. We want the man to always lead, because that's the way that it's supposed to go. So those are the 5 reasons why you should be courting and not dating, ladies. So number 1, it creates accountability to your pastors, your friends, to your cell group, to your family, just anyone that can hold you to accountable. Number 2, it creates a stronger foundation on the Word of God. Number 3, it lessens your temptations. Not that it cancels it out altogether, but it just creates an environment where there isn't as much temptation to have sex before marriage. Number 4, it does not create resentment against your fiance for not marrying you right away. And number 5, it cancels all doubt and uncertainty. Of course, these 5 reasons for not dating but courting are not foolproof, but you definitely want to go seek some spiritual guidance. So that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you ladies and you enjoyed it. If you did, just make sure that you give the video a thumbs up, and I'll be making another video shortly. Thank you so much for watching, ladies. Bye.